Members of the GOP are going through sensitivity training so they can know how to talk about women while they're campaigning. Now, this is important to keep in mind because obviously the midterm elections are coming soon, and 10 races where the House GOP incumbents are going to face female challengers has the GOP freaking out. They're like, okay, these are big elections. We need to figure out how we're going to handle this situation so they don't say anything Todd Akin-like. What I love about this is there are a number of quotes from Republican staffers. One person said, some of these guys have a lot to learn. Another person says,
That's awesome.
You need to be very careful in how you approach any group and what you say. That's just politics 101. And even John Boehner says, some of our members just aren't as sensitive as they ought to be. So if you guys can look back to the 2012 election, of course, that was when the war on women was launched by Republicans, and that really dominated the headlines, and it really worked against Republicans. So as a result, they want to go through this sensitivity training so they don't say things like forcible rape or illegitimate rape and things that get them into a lot of trouble.
I think the middle quote was actually the most telling, because the guy is talking about how you communicate to others. Like there's all these groups out there. Turns out you gotta be sensitive. Now you gotta be sensitive even to the blacks. Can you believe that? All right, and to women, because they don't view women as part of them. Like we don't have to do a sensitivity seminar here at the Young Turks for how you deal with Turks or Mexicans or African Americans or women, because that's what we are, right? We're all these different groups, and we're not like, how would I talk to Jesus? So these guys, though, they don't view women as part of them.
What I don't understand is how they didn't prevent this information from being reported. So Politico originally reported this story, and I just found it really interesting that they would allow this to be a headline somewhere, because of course it got picked up everywhere else, and then now we're talking about it.
So, yeah.
It just makes your entire party look clownish. It's like saying, hey, you know what? We don't know how to deal with women. We haven't really had a good history of respecting women. As a result, we need to go through a class to learn how to lie to you guys about the way we feel about women. That makes your party look even worse.
So two things. One, that's a great point, but they don't see it that way. In Washington, everything is a horse game, right? A horse race. And so they're like, okay, now we're going to show them that we're savvy and we're figuring out how to play the horse race a little bit better so that we're going to have an advantage in the elections. Because then the Politicos of the world and the Washington Post oftentimes, unfortunately, view that as like, oh, the Republicans have become more savvy, let's write more positive articles about them. Instead of saying, hey, wait a minute. You're just like you know the articles they do, Anna, on like, oh, this candidate's doing terrific. He's raised $3 million more than the opposing candidate. No, that means he got bribed more. It's not anything to celebrate. But in Washington, they celebrate that like, way to go, he's getting out bribed. But then the other candidate, he's doing well. The Republicans have figured out how to talk to this strange creature called a woman. Way to go, Republicans. Yeah. They don't view that as a negative thing. In Washington, they view that as like, way to go, Republicans.
I know, but I feel like anyone who actually sits back and critically thinks about this story, they will realize that, yeah, these guys are crazy if they don't know how to talk to women. They're insane if they need to get training to learn how to talk to women. And going back to your point about bribery, Cenk, I can understand how that gets misconstrued, because oftentimes it turns into a popularity contest. The more funding you get, the more popular you are. The more people who want to vote for you, more people who want to support you. A lot of people don't think about it as, oh, it means that you've been bribed by these massive corporations. You have a few corporations that gave you unlimited amounts of money.
Oh, I'm really popular with Sheldon Adelson and ExxonMobil and the Koch brothers. Yeah. Wow, I must be really popular with the American people.
That's the way it gets
supposed
reported,
to represent.
though. That's the way it gets reported.
I know. And the final thing is, you hit the core of the issue, which is that for them, they actually don't have the right ideas. They don't have the right policies. So it's all a matter of chicanery, right? So the reason that they bungle what they say is because they're actually saying what they think. They think Todd Akin really thought that you couldn't get pregnant if it was a legitimate rape. That's why, part of the reason why he says you're not allowed to get an abortion even if you get raped. That's what he really believes. So what they're teaching them here is, I know you believe that, but it turns out women hate that. Like they hate it when you say it's their fault they got pregnant after a rape. Isn't that weird that they don't like that? Okay, well, so here's how you lie to them, and so that you can get the policies that are against them through, while tricking them that you're on their side. That's the core of the problem here. That's the real story. And as you point out, of course, shockingly, the Washington media establishment missed that story.